For inviting me here to speak today. I'm excited to share some spoken word poetry with you. Spoken word poetry is a genre of poetry that's dear to my heart, and it's something that, as a teacher, I'm starting to see is really reaching young people and, not just where I'm from in Saskatchewan, but across the globe. And it's a genre that wouldn't exist without the influence of black people from across the world, and it's really promoting literacy among our youth, so I think it's important. I think this is an important event, so thank you for having me. I'm going to do two poems for you. The first one is called Gray. I am made from black and white, so my essence is gray. How flattering. Though all things considered, there is at least a smattering of blonde hair and blue eyes, though I look you'd never guess, cause I am brown-skinned and therefore my essence is less. They call me mulatto, from mule. Well, that's at least half crass. It makes one parent a thoroughbred and the other an ass. So I'm hoping these words become a thing of yesterday, but they mix brown and white ice cream and called it mulatte. When I was 12, I won a contest at a Christian youth center. Turns out the winner got a free CD. I was thrilled. So the pastor took me into the back room and he took one look at me and he said, "You look like you like rap music." I swallowed hard and thought to myself, "You're lucky you're right." See, they try to pinhole my future, so I'm trying to make plans that don't involve b-ball, beatbox, or break dance. I'm tired of Sandra Bullock movies with cliches of white saviors, saving poor black kids from poor black behaviors. It reminds me of back when they used blackface. Thought the straight-haired blacks must have been a new race. You think that new producers would be more creative, but the Twilight movies had a white play a native. When I was in grade 4, the class bully called me and my best friend niggers. It was sad but strange because my best friend was East Indian. But anyway, we told the teacher and she made everything better, God bless her. She slapped the bully on the wrist and said, "The word is Negro." My East Indian friend thought he was black for 3 years. See, if we're building a nation, then pain is in the mortar. I'm watching grasses get greener even south of the border. They got a black man in office. The paradox means we're equal. But my life hasn't changed, so I'm waiting for the sequel. I don't want to be the same, I'm just trying to be a peer. But whether black, brown, Muslim, disabled, or queer, although we are citizens, we're still second class, still outside the circle, still others in the mass. They say Jim Crow is dead, that we're free from separation. But if you come to Saskatoon and you want to find the natives, just look on the west side. See, when they wrote segregation out of policy, they left it in economy and wrote it into geography. It's whites to the east and browns to the west, like a line in the sand, take your race to the left. I never cease to be amazed how soon we forget that racism's still alive, we haven't beat it yet. I'm still watched at the store, still my freedom's rescinding, still the police call me bro, condescending. I prayed that this poem could have a good ending, but as it turns out, we're broken, not blending, and breaking, not mending. I'm still a little less than kin, although my heart is more than kind. And now that I'm finally proud to be black, the world is colorblind. Thank you. Thanks very much. I'm going to debut a poem for you today, so bear with me. I don't have it memorized yet, so I'll be reading it. It's untitled, but when Gary called me about coming here, I had already been thinking about writing something about, black history and had some scribblings, written down. So I spent, the last few days just kind of pulling those together, and this is what I came up with. This lady once told me that black people don't age. It's true, my grandmother bore the beauty of youth. And I wonder, do our faces not wrinkle because we bear the facelift of too much pulled hair? Or because our expressions have been frozen with the shock of rape? See, at times at the altar I drop and I wonder how our bodies have been altered by the passing of ships over bodies of water, by the lashing of whips over bodies of brothers, how our lips are enlarged from too many hits, till they say we look like monkeys, till they say we talk funny. But it's really because right here education comes from money. So I diss the disproportionate spread of wealth. So I'm diabetic from the disproportionate spread of health. So the way I get rich is fist over hand, clinging to ancestral ideals of wealth in distant lands. It's true we must deal with the dealing of hands, with white palms worn from all that church clapping that once ran from traders who were chasing and trapping, that once clung to a palm like life clings to a sapling, hoping not to get taken, hoping that sapling would make it, hoping it might, thanking God its skin is black to help it hide in the night, hoping its black limbs could one day tell the story of black hymns written about the theft of glory, written about the deadly sin of enslavement. Well, that sapling, it made it. And its word is born from the gut of the earth. See, it was a forced C-section, ripped from Africa's womb, cradled in the rocking of slave ships, successfully disabled at the docking of slave ships, after a frantic passage across the Atlantic through 66 sunsets and not one romantic. Now in a panic, HIV will take Africa soon. It's like HIV becomes Africa's boon. And although we rock out to African tunes, I said although we rock out to rapping the blues, somewhere they're still calling Africans coons, because some there still consider Africans goons, with segregated high school graduation celebration, not knowing they're celebrating their own segregation. Rich kids are born with money while black kids are waiting. The brand new colonial exploration, they're commodifying, uninspiring anti-integration. Call me African Canadian. I was conceived in the test tubes of this social laboratory. But my cradle of civilization will not be a petri dish, I'm sorry. I am sacred though I am scared. I am good though I am feared. See, I gave birth to the beauty of youth. I gave birth to July through June, gave birth to the world. In Athens lie African ruins, but we forget this. We forget our stories. See, my story lies in too many tombs where I have searched for my sons and daughters. My story is in too many moonrises spent waiting these cracked feet in water. Water despite an old fear seated in muscles that recall a fall and a futile thrashing about. A fear seated in lungs that recall a last breath taken in terror and wet salt. My story is written in the brands blazed and the scars raised on my skin like a relief map. See, they labeled me black and then they labeled my back. So everywhere I lay, where my story resides, it's in those 40 lines, like 40 acres I'm owed, where 40 trees might grow from the seeds that were sowed. My story is in hope. My story is a ghost of Kunta Kinte. My story is in the ghost of Billie Holiday. See, our ancestors hang from our family trees like strange fruit. This lady once told me that black people don't age. I see now is because we were killed in our youth. May God let these stories give life to the truth. Thank you.
One more round for Khodi Dill. That was amazing. We should have had him this evening, right?